I search thrift stores, Goodwills, garage sales, and more for possible treasures. Then I decide whether to purchase or pass. Watch what I do and decide for yourself. Would you buy it? All right, so it's another week, another Saturday. We got in some more community garage sales, and we did pretty darn good. No, we did not get an apple, but we did get another free box. It was in the garbage. It's actually a little moist, but so no particularly good reason. It wasn't like the Macintosh Classic from last week, but yeah, it was in the garbage. A scanner for $1. This is sort of interesting. It's a GE, and it's an electronic digital clock radio cassette player. So I think you can probably wake up to sound. Some Christmas lights. These are actually not the lights themselves. It's just the Looney Tunes characters. I got them for $1. I don't know if they're worth much more than that. And then these train ones. These I paid $2 for. They did come with the lights. So, somebody would want them, maybe. You gotta get a trapper keeper. Unfortunately, somebody wrote on it and drew little eyeglasses on the tiger. But this is a sweet trapper keeper, I think. Like it snaps. Look at the wood paneling. It was actually used for recipes. Spinach dip, sweet and sour dressing. I think they could be worth some, but this is in bad condition. An Erector set in it, I never saw this before. I almost thought that they had just written it on there, but this is an original kit, the guy said. He had it as a kid. And so there's a set in here. There's an extra pocket Erector set that's separate. The guy seemed to suggest it was complete. I do not know that for sure. He's got stuff taped together. I paid $20, which is, that's paying up for that. So the thing that I was most excited about is something I don't fully understand what it was. But it appealed to me, and I thought it has to be worth something. So it's Micronauts Rocket Tubes. There's some kind of pneumatic thing that shoots dudes up through these tubes. Supposedly it's complete. Supposedly it works. I paid $10 for it. I did not look it up, but I can't imagine that it's not worth, I don't know, $40, $50. Again, especially if it works, especially if it's really complete. I'll show you a little bit of how this works. So it still works pretty good. Put the guy in. He's definitely slowing down. You can kind of shoot this guy. Oh, he actually, wow. I never saw him make it that far. This morning, we had 7 a.m. There's a question about where to go. There's some community garage sales, and then there was one I had seen that was about 5-10 minutes away from there that listed vinyl and turntable and a receiver. So the question was, well, do we skip that one that's kind of out of the way and get to the community garage sales late because they were starting at the same time, or whatever? Because vinyl means a lot of things. Vinyl can mean 50s stuff that you don't even want. So we decided to go to it, and it worked out. And so I'll let Justin talk about the records and the other stuff that he found.
Luckily, it was some good stuff. Like you can see here, Queen, Bad Company, and they all seem to be, we haven't looked at all of them, but the ones we do, they seem to be in good condition. What should be especially exciting is this Zeppelin 3. And what's funny is last weekend, we also got a Zeppelin 3, which was in pretty bad condition. This one was it's in used condition. I'd say it's better than the other one.
Yeah.
But what was kind of funny is they had put, so for the Zeppelin 3, there's this insert thing, and they had put the record where the insert's supposed to.
But that's funny to find. I've never seen that. We said twice in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And that's a good one. So.
Yeah.
This one I got somewhere else. It's just like a 20 power hits K-Tel. So,
Sweetness.
yeah. I think I got that for like 50 cents or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No idea. It was $1, and it just looked interesting. No idea.
And then Aerosmith, Billy Joel, American Woman, Guess Who, Two Eagles.
Yeah, in nice condition too. Pretty nice condition.
Yeah, so Bruce Springsteen, and then the other Eagles, Hotel
Show the
California.
Bruce.
Oops, sorry.
Born to Run.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's a good one. And then Hotel California. This one was my favorite for a while there.
Yeah.
Yep. And Fleetwood Mac.
So again, $1 each.
Yeah.
Right. That's totally worth it.
Yeah. And at the same garage sale, we got a Technics SLD2 turntable.
You lift it out.
Sure. Yeah. For $10. So that should be pretty decent. I don't know a whole lot about Technics and their turntables, but it should be interesting to try out and stuff. It has a Empire stylus on it, and it seems like the needle's on there. And also at that one, we also got a Technics SA505 receiver, which is definitely like an old-fashioned receiver. Has a lot of like buttons and stuff that are really cool, so that should be awesome to try out.
I'm gonna get a shot from the back.
Sure, yeah.
So tell about how much we had to pay for the records and stuff. So we got 12 records.
Yep, 12 records, and I'm not sure if you can see, but there's $10 stickers on both of these. So like 32. Sorry, yeah. And so we asked, I think originally, did we ask 20 or 25 maybe?
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 32.
Yeah. So like you thought 25 isn't too bad, but she said no. We asked 30 because $2 less.
Garage sale, you have to do 30.
And still no. So like we ended up paying 32. What was the price? And it's definitely worth 32, but kind of. It's always nice to get a deal when you're buying 12 records and a turntable and receiver, but...
Right, this is the guy who has no change, and so he gets the $5 thing for $2. That's what we're talking about there. Mention the cables.
All right, yeah. So at another one, there's 3 pairs of just RCA cables. Recently, I've been using a lot of these, and so I've had to use some pretty bad ones. So I was looking to get some. 50 cents each on them. So of course I asked $1 for all 3, and they got them for that. So yeah.
And I think your last thing's over here, right?
Yep. So at another garage sale, I asked about speaker. They had a DVD player or a CD player. So I asked about speakers and stuff and receivers, and they said no. A minute or two later, we're still at the same garage sale. I look and see this box, and I see vaguely these kind of look like speakers. So I'm looking closer, and I can see they're probably speakers. So I asked about them and pulled one out.
Yeah,
there's some. Yeah, sure. There's some JBL speakers. They're not the biggest or anything, but okay, and they are heavy. Okay. But they should be interesting to try, and so I asked about them. I wasn't super interested because they're not the biggest or anything, but I asked how much they were asking, and they said $1. So I figured I can play with them for a little bit and then sell them on Facebook Marketplace and make 20, 30, $40 or whatever, and have fun doing it too.
What was funny is we saw
oh yeah,
you talk about the dad and the guy when we were
So a few times this outing we saw these a dad and his son, kind of like us, and at one point we actually we were at our car kind of looking at stuff. And they came up and said hey, we've seen you a few times, or I forget exactly what, but then we got to talking about speakers and stuff, and they saw the Technics receiver.
Right, they could see in the back of our trunk, so a hatchback.
Mm-hmm. And so they pointed out, they actually asked if we would sell it on the spot, but said no, because I want to test it out, but we gave them, or they gave us our information, so I'll definitely, if I end up selling this or some other stuff from this weekend or whatnot, I'll reach out to them and see if they're interested first.
So it was, again, not as good as last week, but definitely some fun, interesting things that, again, so we didn't spend as much, we probably won't make as much, but we'll do just fine.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I just kind of vaguely hooked everything up. I have the JBL speakers that I got hooked up to the Technics receiver, hooked up to the turntable. And this is, especially the turntable, is not going to be good. So I just have a Command Classic sampler, very bad record. Okay, so let me turn on the receiver here.
Well,
As you can see, there's some lights.
A lot of lights.
So I have it on the main speakers. I'm gonna set it to phono here. Okay, so there's 2 switches here for like tape stuff, and I set them to source because I'm pretty sure I want like the source that I've sold. Try this again here. Okay, it's on there. Okay, so as you can see, it is working, which is kind of surprising a little bit, like that it more or less works the first time. There's definitely, like I'll have to mess around with the settings to get the turntable dialed in. Also, the receiver seems to be certainly in used condition, a little like the volume, it has like some fuzz and stuff when you turn it, and the balance as well. And so maybe we can open it up and like try and clean some of the pots or whatever they are. But yeah, I mean, that's like, it's an old thing, so that's probably to be expected. But it sounds pretty good. The speakers sound decent and stuff, so
yeah,
definitely worth the buy.
Yeah, $21.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.